All right, blessings. Welcome to Congregation Rehoboth. And this is our Parshat discussion tonight. And we are so glad that you could join us on this Thursday night. We started a new time, 7:30. And so we hope that that will help out in we won't be on here all night. And so if those of you who are tuning in, if you can go to the chat and take that and put it in your Facebook page or your social media page, whatever that is. And also, I'm gonna put it here on our page as well. And if you could take that and drop it into, yeah, I like how that looks, into just put it all over, put it on your page. And we're going to make sure you thumb up the live and thumb it up. You can even put a heart next to it. And I'm going to put it on our congregation's Facebook page as well. And so you can just give me a second here. I want to do that. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to listen in, to tune in, and just be a part of the discussion. All right. I mean, we're going to talk about some really interesting topics tonight in dealing with this Parshat. And so I recommend that you get your, get ready to participate. Don't you hold back anything that you would like to contribute, because we want to really make sure that we know what's on your mind. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you think about the scriptures. And again, avoid using anachronisms. Sorry. And we want to make sure we do that. And feel free to share your ideas, your thoughts, your questions, anything you would like to enhance our discussion tonight. You're more than welcome to do that. And I'm just about done, and we're gonna start here in just a second. All right. And so just making sure that I have everything that excuse me, that we need to get started. All right. Got that all done. And I am almost finished, guys. And so hopefully you had a blessed day today. And you had a chance to actually read through the Parshat. And so this discussion is going to be dependent on you. It's going to be dependent on you and how much you contribute to this discussion. If I'm pretty much the only one talking, guys, I'm gonna do a quick exit tonight. So join in, and let's have a good time. And so our Parshat tonight is actually a double portion. And so it was a little bit long, but it's Parshat Akrimot, meaning after death, and Parshat Hidoshim, which means the Holy One. And we're going to look at how these two go together. But I do want to jump right into the I believe the Torah portion of this. And I know we're supposed to be looking in the Brit Hadashah and the Haftarah and then making connections back to the Torah. But I read all of them. I read them all. And I want to deal with a little bit. I want to start off in the Torah first. And actually, I want to start off in chapter, man, there's so many things to talk about. Oops, I don't want that. Sorry, don't want that one. So let me close these out really quick. Close those out. All right, here we go. So yeah, I do want to start in the Torah, and I want to look at chapter 19. I'm going to start in chapter 19. Again, there's so many different topics there, man. There's, laws against homosexuality, and, that's in chapter 18. Chapter 17 is, making sacrifices outside of the tabernacle. Just so many different things that, we can discuss. The preparation for the Day of Atonement. So many different things, guys, but I do want to start in chapter 19. And don't forget about chapter 20, dealing with idolatry. We have, this fascination with, putting other things before Yah, other people, other things that we just want to put before Yah. And he says, don't put any God before me. And what he means is before his face. That word, tanah, in the Hebrew, it means to be in relationship with him. In other words, he's saying, don't be in relationship with anything else or anyone else more than you are with me. All right. And so I want to go back to chapter 19, and right around verse 28, I believe. Let me check it out there. I think it's 28. He's talking about tattoos. And let's see, is that 28? I think it is. Let me just scroll down to it. Oh, yes, here we are. Yep. So I'm just going to read verses 26, start at verse 26 in Leviticus chapter 19. He says, you shall not eat anything with blood. How many of you guys are used to, maybe you still do, medium rare steak? There are some people that eat, what is called boudin. Some people make it with, blood. They call them blood sausages. I've seen someone actually make it. All right. He says, nor shall you practice divination or soothsaying. You shall not shave around the sides of your head, nor shall you disfigure the edges of your beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh. That's interesting. Should not make any cuttings in your flesh. Now this is interesting. For the dead. Okay, cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. Do not prostitute your daughter. I'm sorry.
What's the verse again?
So I started in 26, Leviticus 19, and I started in 26, but I believe that verse is 28 or 29, one of those. He says here, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Now, I know a lot of people, they do that. They have you know, a picture of their mom, or a picture of, their parent, or a picture of their wife or husband. He says, don't make any. Now, see, here's the thing. People who are feeling something on the inside, like, why can't I have, okay, that's fine. But just understand that this word, again, in the scriptures, were written in a certain context, meaning there was a certain culture. There was a culture. And so in order to understand what these scriptures mean, you have to get down into the culture. If you're taking, and that's why I mentioned that word anachronism. Did anyone look that up in the chat? Anyone look it up? You already know what it is? You should look it up real quick. You got a cell phone. It's really quick. All right. You need to know, if you are a serious student about the word, there are just some basic things that you're just gonna have to get used to digging and studying and finding, because man, you don't want to come to any conclusion about the word or your own conclusion. You want to make sure that you're rightly dividing the word. And anachronisms, and when we use anachronisms, they are a hindrance. They hinder us from rightly dividing the word. All right, he says, so no cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks. Don't tattoo any marks on you. All right. And so, go ahead.
For the dead, right?
Well, no. He says, don't make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. Okay. And so, what we're going to have to do is, if you really want to study this, guys, you're going to have to go to the Hebrew. You're going to have to go to the Hebrew, and let's do that. I'm going to share my screen here so that we can actually see. Hold on, not that one. I want this, because this is super important to really understand. Did anyone look up an anachronism yet?
Yes.
What is an anachronism?
Oh, please. A thing belonging or appropriate to a period other than that in which it exists, especially a thing that is conspicuously old-fashioned. Or an act of attributing a custom, event, or object to a period to which it does not belong.
That's the one. An act of attributing a custom to a time period that it doesn't belong. Now, let me say this. This is what we do. An act of attributing a custom of a certain time period. Wait, say that one more time. An act of attributing a certain custom to a time period that it doesn't belong in. In other words, what we do is we take our 21st century customs, practices, culture, and we overlay them on the scriptures. And so we say, everybody gets tattoos now. I mean, and then so we read this and we're like, oh no, that can't apply to me, because, and we come up with a reason. There's nothing wrong with, getting a tattoo for my mom or my brother, or, someone we love, or someone we had, a relationship with. It's the cool thing to do. Everybody's doing it. Kids are doing it. Adults are doing it. Adults even lead the kids in doing it. They see their parents with it, and they think, oh, that's cool. I want to do that one day. And we have no clue about what the scriptures are actually saying about those of us who really actually have a relationship, who love him, who walk in his ways, who walk in the Torah. All right. And so let's look at this here. It is in 19 and verse 28 here. All right. And so let's go to and see what cuttings. Well, we can kind of figure out what cuttings are, but let's just look it up. Don't make any means That's a pretty self-explanatory word. Don't eat any of my birthday cake. Don't drink any of my soda. Don't touch any of my things. Okay, that's pretty categorical. So cuttings, don't make any cuttings. Okay, and so let's look at what the scriptures mean by cuttings. Again, any incisions. Now, when you go to get a tattoo, they're cutting you. Yes, they are. They're cutting you. Okay. They're making incisions on your body. So he says, no, I don't want you doing that to your body. Now, this is very interesting. This is also found here in Leviticus 21:5. It says, they shall not make baldness upon their heads, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard, nor make any cuttings in the flesh. Now, we would have to go to chapter 21 to see the context here, but that's pretty interesting. He says, no incisions or cuttings in your flesh for the dead, though. It's for the dead. Again, it's for those who have passed away. Now, that's very interesting. So let's see this.
That was going to be my question. So,
Which one is that?
one of my questions. Go ahead, finish before.
Okay. And so here it is, for the dead, that which breathes, breathing substance or being, those who have a soul, the inner being of a person, those who had life, emotions. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so don't make any cuttings in your flesh for people who have passed away, people who are no longer here with us.
Let's say that counts for pets too. Yes, Jesus.
That's what he said. Let's see in the chat. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to that word for the dead. Okay. Now we know that animals have minds, right?
Creature, soul, self, life, creature,
Yep.
person, appetite, mind, living being, desire, emotion, passion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a living being with life in the blood. We know that animals definitely have life in their blood. Let's see. The man himself, self, person, or individual. Yeah, it doesn't specifically say animals, but a creature is an animal. Animals have minds, they have emotions. I've seen dogs like cry, like whimper, and dogs can hurt, they can feel. All right. And so one emotion is feeling, hurt or sad. And so, yeah, I would say definitely it includes any living creature. All right. For the dead. And then it says, don't make any marks. Okay. Don't make any marks. Hold
Says
on.
print. Don't print any marks.
Is that what it says? Okay. Hold on. This is not acting right for me. Oh, there we go. For the dead, nor print any marks. Okay. Is that what it said in the actual text? Let's see.
It's right there on blue letter. It says print.
Yep. Print any marks. All right. And so let's see. Let's see what print. Don't print. All right. So this is tet nu, teat nu, sorry, teat nu. So this is, this little dot here makes the E. This little, does anyone remember what this is? You remember what this is called, the name? The schwa?
Schwa.
Yep. And this is the noon. And this is the vav with the dot in the middle. Now you could have a dot over the top or in the middle. When it's in the middle, it's new. And so I believe when you have this at the end, I believe it's plural. Let's see. Imperfect plural, yeah, it's plural. Okay. So we can see that P at the end right here, and it's in the masculine. That's what that M stands for. Second person. Okay. And it's the call imperfect, that I, call imperfect. So this V is a verb. That means it's a verb. Call imperfect, second person, masculine, plural. All right. And so let's see, Natan. Natan, that sounds familiar. Okay. So Natan in the call, right? To give, bestow, grant, permit, ascribe, employ, devote, consecrate, dedicate, pay wages, sell, exchange, lend, commit, entrust, give over, deliver up, yield, produce, occasion, produce, requite to, report, mention, utter. All right, that's interesting. That Natan, very interesting here. So he says,
Put upon.
click which one now?
Which one is it in?
The call to give or put or set. To give, put, or set. So he's saying here, do not give, put, or set any marks upon you.
Did you go to Natan or did you go to Neat, the other one?
Natan, yep. This one here, print.
Oh, it's the whole thing. Both of them, okay, are together.
Yeah, so this says, so when you see this, the top one is how it's inflected or conjugated.
Oh,
It tells you all of this information right here. It tells you, let me show you.
no, it's fine. I got that.
Oh yeah, so this cheat new is telling you all this information right here. The stem, the type, the person, the gender, the number. But then this Natan here is the root. It's the root. Okay.
Oh, I see.
So he says, don't give, don't put, or set any marks. Now, this is a noun. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see here. So this is K with the K aqua. Oh. Or qua a K, qua aqua. Qua aqua. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but any marks. So don't put or set any incision, imprintment, tattoo, or mark. Okay. I mean, that's pretty clear. Now, the thing is, though, we have to get in the context of when this was written. And so there are ways to do that. Now, there is what is called the Mishnah. The Mishnah. Okay. All right. And I would recommend that you pick up a copy, or you can go online. You go in Google search right now and put in Mishnah PDF. Save it to your computer, to your phone, And what you will have, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do that for you right now, just to show you. Watch this, how accessible these things are. There it is. I've already looked it up. I looked it up one time already. Okay, and so I'm going to go Mishnah in English, full text Mishnah, PDF Mishnah. Okay, so since I clicked on this one, I'm going to click it again. Now, they have headings. There are headings in this Mishnah. It's not good. Okay, here we go. All right, now let me show you the headings, guys. See, you can pull this up and you don't even have to buy it. You can actually go online. This is a free resource. And let me tell you, it is the full Mishnah, because again, I have the copy right here. And I'm gonna tell you guys which section to go to. Did everybody pull it up? You should pull this up on your phone, on your computer. And I'm gonna go to Makat. Makat deals with, let's see, where is it? I think it's in the, where is Makat? Here we go. Stripes. You see that? Makat. So that's page 401. So now we're going to drop down to page 401. Hold on. It keeps disappearing. Oh, here we go. Uh, 649 went too far. Hold on. I want to show you this, guys, because the Mishnah is a collection, or it's a codified, or, you know, when I say codified, it's put together in written form. It's laid out. It is a codified version, a written version of the oral Torah. In other words, it is the discussions, the debates, the reasoning in various situations on what the scriptures say. And so these guys, these rabbis, now this was written, this is actually the oldest written commentary on the Torah. Okay, and so what did I say, page 40, then I forgot which page. I think it said 4 something. And I want to show you this because we're still in the 5s. Okay, we're almost there here. Bear with me. 504. And I was reading this today. Found some interesting things in here too. Now, what I read, what I found out was there are, you know what? I'm just gonna, let me see, because this is frustrating me here. I don't want to go back to the table of contents. Did it say 411? I don't remember which one it was. Well, you're gonna have to look it up because I do have it right here. And let me just read what it says to you. It says, he who tattoos his skin, so they have different options. If he made a mark but did not tattoo it in his skin. So, you know, you have people, young people today who are cutters. They're known as cutters. And so they'll cut their you know, their skin. They'll cut their arms, you know, in an attempt to, you know, I mean, anytime you cut your arm near your wrist, man, you're attempting to commit suicide. Scripture says don't do that. All right. He says tattooed it in, but did not make a mark. Oh, that's interesting. He who tattoos his skin, he is not liable unless he makes a mark and tattoos with ink or with eye paint or with anything which lasts or something that's permanent. Okay. Now, I've never had a tattoo. I wanted to get one, but I was kind of scared to get one, to tell you the truth. You know, I don't know. I don't like giving my body to be cut on like that. I just, you know, I don't trust it. But this goes on and on. I mean, it's very interesting to see what you know, this tattooing is all about. And the thing that I'm saying is this: it's not based on, I'm not using an anachronism. I'm using an understanding of, again, the Mishnah was put together in the 3rd century. That means the 200s. And so this was like 130 years after the destruction of the temple. None of the apostles were around. And so we would have to think, okay, who are these people if they're not the apostles? Because the apostles lived during the 1st century, not the 3rd century. Maybe some of them barely made it into the 2nd century, but so now we have to say we know that they weren't the apostles because they didn't live for 200 years or 150 years, 130 years. And so we have to say, okay, who are these individuals putting this information together? And so the way I look at the Mishnah is I look at it as a historical source. And then, so again, when you talk about historical sources, you know, you have 3 types of sources. You have tertiary sources, you have secondary sources, and you have primary sources. And so I was reading in one of these, let me just read this for you. This is in a document, and I'm going to put this in, here, let me just go to it real quick. I found this, the Jews of Elephantine, and this was the 5th century BC. And so this was like 400 years before Yeshua came on, and it deals with manumissions. When Jews were released from slavery, they tattooed their bodies with the master's name on it, with the owner's name. And so this is called the Elephantine Jewish garrisons. And so, yeah, these were military, military, a place where the military was very active, and they would, when they gave female Jewish slaves their freedom, they often left with the tattoo of their owner. And so it was a papyri or a papyrus that they found with this information on it. And so I thought I saw another one somewhere. Let me see. No, not that one. But yeah, so this stuff gets interesting. But if you do look at the Mishnah, go ahead and look at, I know it's in Makot, but you're going to have to find the right page, because I'm not sure. I forgot what page is on. I don't feel like going all the way back. Actually, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to move on but I thought that was very interesting to see that and really understand what this text is saying about tattoos. And so here's a question. Here's a question I have. Should we follow this? Because watch this. Watch it. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Verse 30 says, "You shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. Have respect for the sanctuary," which was the tabernacle. So we know we should keep the Sabbath, right? And we know we should have the respect for the place of worship. We know we're going to do that, right? So now, what about this verse 29? "Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore." I mean, we're not going to do that, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. That's where we're living right now. You go anywhere in Oakland, in San Leandro, in any city, you're going to see daughters being prostituted. Okay, now the question is, would you do that to your daughter? And the answer is no, you wouldn't. So then when we get to verse 28, "You shall not make any cuttings on your flesh or the dead, nor make any prints or marks, print any marks upon you." Now, does our thinking change a little bit? Do we kind of question that? Do we have the same energy we have with verse 20, with verse 30 and verse 29?
So my question was going to be,
Okay.
about the cuttings, because it says specifically about for
For the dead.
Yeah. And the reason why I have this question is because I know I see gangsters or people in jail, or if you watch Black Panther, the cousin had all the little marks on his body for all the kills that he did in war, or he was a mercenary, or thugs in jail or gangsters have teardrops or those tattoos and marks, which are specifically outward showing that you either belong to this game or that you did these killings. That was my question, because and I get it too, not because you kind of explained the marking, the imprint.
Oh yeah, he says.
But even prior to that, I was gonna ask about the cutting of the hairline. Like, dudes, y'all not even supposed to be getting lined up then. We can't tattoo. It shouldn't be barbers. No.
Hold on.
Check it.
What was the passage? It was, what verse was that? No, it was in 21. It was chapter 21. And it was verse 5, I believe.
Not even in chapter 21. It goes from 16 to 20. So chapter 19, I think. As a matter of fact, where am I?
No, but where the haircut, the hair, cutting the hair.
Chapter 19.
That was in 21, I believe.
It's in chapter 19 as well.
Oh, what verse? I thought I saw it in
28.
Verse 28. With the hairline? No, it was in 21 right here. 21:5.
Chapter 19, verse 28. That's what I just said. 28. Chapter 19.
Yeah, I'm right here. It's right here.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but it just says,
"You shall not make any cut." Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me go back to it.
You're talking about right here. Leviticus 21:5. It says, "They shall not make baldness upon their heads, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard." That's the one you're talking about?
Give me a second, please.
Okay. Now, this is very good, because look what it says here in verse 1. "And the Lord said to Moses, Speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people,
This is next week's Parshat.
Right, I'm reading it right now. Look, he says, he said to the priests, speak to the priests. So let's keep it in context. But for his, he says, speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister, a virgin, not be a virgin, that is nigh unto you, that is close to you, which hath had no husband. Ooh, that's a lot. For her, watch this, for her may he be defiled. But
But
he shall
because
not
he can't,
defile himself. Hold on. He shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. They, who is the they? The priests shall not make baldness upon their head. The priests shall not, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard. The priests shall not make any cuttings also on their flesh.
can we go back to Leviticus 19 now?
Mhm. Okay.
And go to 27.
All right, Leviticus 19:20, you shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of your beard. So let's look at, is this saying the same thing? And so he says, you shall not round. Okay.
Sound line up to me. And he ain't talking about priests right there.
Nope. Hold on, let me go back real quick and see. This is a verb. It is in
Action.
Hifil imperfect. It's in the Hifil imperfect. Okay. Okay, so the
Right,
Hifil,
strike off. Oh, to go around, surround, encompass, enclose. To make round, complete the circuit. To make round, round off.
that sounds like a bowl cut to me.
It's still a cut. Line up.
It's some kind of cut, yeah. To cut down, destroy, go around, to enclose. Interesting, huh? Okay, let's see.
Now, what's interesting is in 21, it did say that you can defile yourself for certain people that's close to you.
Yeah.
But the priest could not do it. So that would be an argument for those who have loved ones tattooed on their bodies.
Wait, say that one more time.
The passage you just read in Leviticus 21 said that except for those family members that are close to you, you may defile yourself. But for the priest, or then those were not supposed to do so.
Well, you talking about, okay, so he said the priests are not to do this either.
Wait, no,
Yeah, he said priests.
wait, speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, no one shall make himself unclean for the dead among his people. So he was saying to the priest that no person should make himself clean for the dead among his people, except for his closest relatives, his mother, his father, his son, his daughter, his brother, or his virgin sister who is near to him because she has had no husband. And it sounds like it's only that one and the close people there. For her, he may make himself unclean. He shall not make himself unclean as a husband among his people, and so profane himself.
Right. So he could make himself unclean for people who were close to him, but it was some high standards though. Ooh, it was high. Said she had to be
But that don't even say tattoo itself. It just says makes himself unclean, meaning you're not supposed to be around or touch a dead body. But of course, if your dead mom die in your tent, you got to get her out. So you're gonna be unclean for touching a dead body, right? I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Is that what
Well,
that means?
if he said, remember he said if that was in 21, right?
Yeah, that's not even part of this Parshat either. That's next week. So
Right. Right. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right. So, that was one of my takeaways is when I saw that. And I think for me, when I connected over to the it's about obedience. It's about obedience. It's about doing what the scriptures say, and we could see that clearly outlined. I mean, man, in so many different passages.
I mean, can guys get lined up? I don't know that we came to a conclusion on that.
Well, that's for next week. We're going to have to deal with that next week.
That's not next week. That's 19. We still here. And I had other questions.
Where does it say about getting
We just looked at it, 19.
27?
Yes.
Let me see. So you shall not round the corners of your heads, nor mar. Let's see what mar, we didn't finish looking at. Mar the corners of your beards. Hold on, let me look at so that is the Hiphil imperfect. All right, so let's look at that. Hiphil imperfect. Yeah, he says don't spoil, ruin, or destroy. Okay. Don't destroy the corners of your beard. Corners, the edge. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, what does it mean to destroy the corners? Because it doesn't say cut.
How
To
else?
mar.
Destroy it.
To mar. To ruin or destroy the corners of your beard. We're gonna, honestly.
Y'all now round off the hair on your temples. Where are your temples at? Touch your temples.
Okay, I don't have any hair on my temples.
Yeah, but that's where y'all get lined up at, which is why I said, should y'all not get lined up?
I get lined up on the forehead
Y'all
too.
get shaped, all that. So if they round it off and shape this whole side, or mar the edges of your beard.
I don't know anyone that gets their haircut rounded. I don't know who would do that. we're gonna have to look at it.
I'm gonna look up some haircuts and I'm gonna see.
Well, we're going to find out first, what does it mean to round the corners? That's well, it says to wait, hold on, let me see. Yeah, to round the corners. You're gonna have to find out what does it mean to round the corner. So round, again, it's in the Hiphil.
You're not sharing screen no more.
Sorry. Hold on, let me come in. All right. So the Hiphil, to encompass okay, it's in the Hiphil, to go around, surround, encompass, enclose, to make the round, complete the circuit, to make round off. Yeah, I don't know anybody that, rounds off their beard. Well, does that look rounded?
Yes. Goatee. You goateed.
Well, I'm about to start cutting it like just straight, square it off. Well, it says around the corners of your head. I don't get anything rounded like that. I think that's women when they pull and comb their baby hair down and it's rounded. You know, you've seen them pictures, haven't you?
I don't think they was doing baby hair back then. Let's keep it in the context.
Well, that's what we call it. We call it baby hair.
Yeah, but they wasn't brushing them down with no toothbrushes in jail. Sorry, I don't think so.
Hey, look at all this rounded right here.
I would be tickled pink to know that.
Look at all this rounded around the sides of these women right here. See how that's rounded? Temple, look, bang, rounded.
Not even,
That's rounded. Look, that's y'all. Rounded. That's round.
you want to play games. Let me go.
Men don't be doing
I
this.
had other questions, man.
Okay.
Like,
All right. Okay, blessings. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
hold on. No, I'm gonna find me another picture too. Where was I?
Okay. All right. And so
Okay, 16 verse 29.
Leviticus
Yes.
chapter 16. And 29. Atonement, okay? And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your soul and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourneth among you. Okay.
So the question is, why, if it's clearly stated that it's the 7th month and the 10th day of the month is Rosh Hashanah celebrated in that same month, if Rosh Hashanah is supposed to be the head of the year?
Right. So that's a good question. And so you have the biblical head of the year, but then you have the civil head of the year. And so when they say, Rosh Hashanah during this 7th month, that's probably the civil calendar that's being referred to.
Can you give me screen sharing rights?
Screen sharing, okay, let me see.
Wow. Oh, because
let me see.
I want to share a screen too.
So I'm gonna make you co-host.
You can, okay.
Yeah, I think you can share it now. Try it now.
Yes, I can. Let's see. No.
Let me
Oh,
screen sharing.
I mean, I could have stopped it, but
I stopped sharing mine now. Can you do it?
can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Now let's talk about round. That's round. Right here is round. Let's see some of these brothers with some round lines. Look at that roundness all down to his side of his face. Look, you see these circles, these half moons, these crescents.
Yeah, I don't get mine cut like that though.
Okay, I'm asking because that's literally what I thought of when I heard him say round. And it made me think of a lineup. That's why I had the question. I mean, I just wanted to be clear. Since you wanted to present a visual, I needed to make sure that I was clear on my thinking and why I had
see this right. Oh, you took it off. Okay, quick. Ooh, you took it off quick. Yeah,
well, because the reason why I asked that, and I was wondering, I mean,
some guys get rounded like that, some don't. I mean, there were pictures there were guys that had straight, No,
yeah, I saw some, but a lot of them get them rounded. And Seuss is saying, what does it mean to destroy the sides of the beard? What was the original translation? And he said, I don't think the edges count. So he agreed with me on them edges.
Who?
Hey, Seuss.
What did he say? Let me see where he
Bless
said.
you, brother. Bless you.
Wait, I didn't see where he said. Where in the chat? Let me see. Hey, Zeus, what are you giving him? What are you doing over there? Let me see. Hold on. Now, where Oh, that's in the chat. Hold on.
I did, and I had other questions, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You can answer his. I'm coming.
I need to see the question. I'm trying to get to the chat. Hold on. I think that I gave you screen sharing. Hold on here.
That shouldn't affect the chat.
Okay, so he says, I don't think edges count. What did it mean to destroy the sides of your beard? What was the original translation? Okay, so that was in hold on, chapter 19, verse 27. All right, man, I'm glad y'all really interested in this. That's good. That's cool. Now, so this verse 27, right? Okay. Now, what was he said? Rounded the beard. What does it mean to round? Was that the question? Let me check. Destroy. So let's see. Let's look up round again. Yes, in the hip fill. Oh wait, that was a different.
I think that was the 21, but that's next week.
Mar
Oh,
the
Mar.
corner. It was Mar,
Destroy.
and that was in the hip fill too. So he said, what does it mean to destroy the corners of your beard?
Wait. Just yes. Stop moving it.
It's
So
in the hip fill.
spoil, ruin, destroy, pervert, corrupt, destroyer. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be these last two here. It would probably, it would be to spoil, ruin, or destroy. So what does it mean to destroy? That's a good question. Does it mean to cut completely off?
Sound like a lineup to me. Sound like a lineup to me.
It sounds like a lineup.
That's what I'm saying. If you destroy something,
that's an anachronism. That you're doing an anachronism now. You taking today's custom, right?
To some degree, I am, because like everybody had long hair, right? Back then,
well,
did they cut their hair?
Samson got his hair cut.
That's a whole set of tamales. Leviticus 18:19.
Hold on. You said Leviticus, which one? 18 and 19. All right. All right. And thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanliness.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. 18:18.
18:18. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness besides the other in her lifetime. That means you can't be marrying sisters when one is still living.
I know what it means. I had a question.
And you can't be plotting with the other sister to kill the one that you don't want. Go ahead.
So I'm wondering if, some of this stems back to Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. And they were the parents of the 12. And there was some jealousy and favoritism and all that going on. And also I was wondering if it was speaking towards not taking on concubines when you already have a wife, especially if they're related. Because this is that whole thing about uncovering their nakedness of the
Mm-hmm.
relatives and themselves. So even
Mm-hmm.
though they were allowing concubines, like previously, a lot of them took on sisters or somebody else's wife, or because the earth was still being populated as far as Adam and Eve down to Noah, and then after Noah and the ark, and then they had to repopulate again. So at some point there had to be some cousins and some mixing the family members to continue populating, right? But eventually
Okay.
it became ridiculous, right? Which is why I had to come back around to like, you know what? Okay, enough is enough. We got all these different tribes. You guys have been in different areas. Some of y'all worshiping other gods. So now I'm telling you, now I got to lay down this law. Even though the law was there, people ruined it in our sinful nature. So that's what I'm wondering, how some of these laws, I'm thinking, or just wondering where some of the roots came from. Because I feel
Well,
there's no laws. I don't want to say there's no laws, but they're not labeled or sat down so specifically until somebody break them, like a lot. I think I brought this up before. I know in the beginning there was a word, and the word was with God, and all. I get that. But when it comes to specific things, like not just moral things, I said this before, drinking and driving wasn't illegal until people started wrecking and killing people.
right, but when you talk about the word, if you say that these laws were created once people start doing things, and then there had to be a law for it, that kind of suggests that Yah didn't know.
I'm not saying that they was
I
created,
okay.
saying that it had to be spoken and written down out loud, because people was just wicked and doing all forms of wickedness. So it's here, boom, like it's tangible, it's written, it's something that you can see and you can go back and reference to. Because obviously somebody parents or started sinning and worshiping other gods, and then they was passing that down to the kids instead of what they was actually supposed to be doing. So now you look, I'm leaving you without excuse.
Yeah.
Speak to the children of Moses, saying, like, I'm leaving you without excuse. So we writing them down now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But you know how men and women are, you know, very, very promiscuous. Not all, but we have issues with our flesh. And dudes and women were, you know, wicked as well. And so, if your sister had a dude that was fine, that was fine, I mean, what's to say, on the low, she wasn't looking at him. That was happening. Or vice versa. He's looking at her. And while he hugging you, he kissing her. Okay.
I also wonder too, because I don't remember which chapter or book rather that either, but if a man were or if a woman was betrothed to a man and he died and they didn't produce any children, then the brother's duty was to take her as the wife so that they could still have the lineage going.
Mm-hmm.
And that came to my mind too, like with one law trumped the other after time went on.
Well, because it says that in her lifetime. So if if
Oh
the
yeah.
in the lifetime, yeah. So while they were still living.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Man, those are some awesome questions.
I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
1923.
All righty. 1923.
I hope so. I'll be reading my little notes into my phone while I'm driving, so hopefully it's the right one.
And when ye shall come into the land and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then you shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be uncircumcised unto you.
Keep going.
It shall not
25.
be eaten up. Verse 24, but in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise the Lord withal.
To 25.
And in the 5th year, ye shall eat the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Lord your God.
So this is only speaking about Canaan, right?
In the land of is it?
That's my question.
So we got to go back up to the beginning to
When you shall come into the land.
well, that tells you right there, right? That tells you yes, Canaan. Yes. It's talking about Canaan, yep.
So that's interesting. Well, I mean, so for 3 years, it was like a first fruit. For 3 years was a first fruit. So was it still eating manna, unleavened bread? They couldn't eat it until the 5th. No, not for 3 years. The 4th year, it was like a. Hold on, my text read different than this one. Hold on, let me go to it. Got so many things going on here. 19 and mine read, when you come into the land and plant any kind of tree for food, any kind of tree. So that's like any tree. And you shall regard its fruit as forbidden. Mine says forbidden. 3 years it should be forbidding to you, and it must not be eaten. And in the 4th year, all its fruit shall be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. So in the 5th year, you can eat of it to increase its yield to you. So I mean, I think I'm more so wondering, like, what did they do with it? Did they use it to sell for money to the other people of the land? Like 4 years, 3, I don't know. It seems like a long time to be harvesting seasons worth of produce or whatever it was. And then did they have to burn it up? Like, it doesn't go into detail. Usually it'll say you can burn it up, or, could the sojourners eat it? Was it good for profit? Could they sell it so they can continue to, at least eat and buy grain since they couldn't eat the fruit?
Yeah, that's a good question.
3 years is a long time. Well, 4 rather, because they couldn't even eat of it until the 5th year. And I was thinking, is that just Canaan? Because I want to get some trees for the backyard, and I don't know about waiting 4 years. Like, how are we gonna do that?
No,
Just a couple of citrus trees?
I think it
What
was.
we might not. What if we decide to move before 4 years?
I think it was specific to Canaan because, they're coming into this new land, and they're planting, and so I mean, this is very interesting. I'm not even sure why that would be done.
Because he said they were wicked and their land vomited them out. Maybe that's why.
Oh, the people that were in there before.
Yep, maybe.
That could
Let
be.
me see. Let me see, where am I? Oh, the same chapter, verse 27. You shall not interpret omens. Oh, I had a question about 27. It says you shall not interpret omens or tell fortunes.
Wait, is that 19 or 18?
1927.
Hold on. Okay. 1927?
You shall not, no. Yeah.
18?
No, wait, 19,
I think it's in 20.
no, please, just
No?
a second.
Okay.
You be scrolling so fast, I don't know. Never
Oh,
mind, let me get my own Bible. I know we about to be done in a minute.
excuse me?
What was the answer for the trees? He said Canaan. He said it was specific to Canaan.
Oh, yeah. Because it did say
Not in Canaan, we in America.
it was in the promised land. This is not the promised land over here. And also, like you said, it could be that, the people that were in the land cursed and he vomited them out. And so, maybe the trees needed time. And the Lord probably knew that, it would be more productive. Yeah.
Where did it go? It wasn't the necromancers and the okay, so this is the note that I spoke into my phone, so maybe I wrote or said the verse wrong. But the verse said, "You shall not interpret omens or tell fortunes."
Okay.
But I don't think I wrote the verse down correctly. But my question was, how is that similar or different than like the prophets who were prophesying or the ones who were interpreting dreams?
All right. And so I think the origin of those, I think it's dealing with the origin of where those would come from.
The omens and telling fortunes
Yeah.
versus,
I think it's 26. Is it? Oh, no.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wrote the wrong verse down, or because I was driving and I'd be talking, it'd be dark.
Yeah, it says you should not, wait a minute. Is it this one? 26, where it says neither shall you use enchantment nor observe times, or that one, or no?
Yeah, mine read different. I think I'm reading from a different version. So where is it? 26? Wait.
1926.
Oh yeah, maybe it's that one. Let me look. For some reason, every time I go out of my app and go back in, it like restart every time. It didn't used to do that before, and I don't know why it does that.
Yeah, because these omens and enchanters and
Oh yeah, it was 26. It says shall not interpret omens or tell fortunes.
well, see, these people who were serving these other gods, they had their times and seasons and things that were forbidden, things that were the reason why they were vomited out of the land, is because of these kinds of worship, this kind of worship that they offered to these gods that were not the God of Israel. And so these soothsayers, necromancers, divination, these pagan gods that they offered this worship to, was something they shouldn't have done. And so that's why he's telling the Israelites, these people that were there, he didn't just clear them all out at one time, like they were all gone. Some of these people, it took time to get them out of the land. And so, they probably rubbed shoulders and they probably saw them doing these things. And you know how Israel is. They see somebody doing something, they forget about Yah and start doing what these other people are doing. And so, like you said, it says you shall not do this. So somebody was probably doing it.
Okay.
Like, for example, people, like to, use astrological signs to determine, what kind of behavior, what kinds of actions a person will do. And so, astrological signs, all that stuff, divination, sorcery, where people can determine the events that are going to happen or try to explain why things happen, all of that. You go get your palm read, that's definitely divination. Absolutely.
I think that's all I have.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else with any comments or questions? Or this is pretty interesting. Interesting.
I would like to say hello to whoever the Zoom user is that keeps falling out of the meeting. At least.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Hello, Zoom user. Who is there?
Who's that?
Hello, Zoom user. Who are you?
You can unmute. Hey, Blessings, who are you? We don't know your name on there. It didn't show a name. Is that Josiah?
I don't know. His name will come up.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, that's Sister Elaine. Blessings.
Hi, Sister Elaine. Or maybe it's
Put herself on mute again.
for reception, maybe.
Could be. Well, I guess, guys, we're gonna close it down for tonight, and we will see you back here on Shabbat, and then on Tuesday, and also this coming Sunday, guys, check it out. This coming Sunday, we will be debating. I know this time has passed, but we will be debating. Hold on. You give me a second here. I want to bring this up. Yeah, I'm excited about this, so forgive me. And I pray that you're able to join in with us and check us out here. I'm trying to find, oh, here it is right here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Yep. Blessings, guys. Hopefully, you guys will be able to check this out. I like this visual with the Lord's Supper, picture. You see the background. And this is going to be on, the date is down there, Sunday, April 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 5 p.m. our time. And that will be 7 p.m. Central. So yeah, we definitely would like you to join in, and yeah, check out. And so we're going to be answering this question: was the Last Supper the Passover meal? So there are people who believe that it was, and we've done a study on it, and we've come to some conclusions. And so we're going to test it. We're going to test it to make sure that what we believe and why we believe it is biblically accurate. And so having a discussion where we can question each other and discuss the matters, use proper biblical exegesis, rightly divide the word, look at context, look at geography, look at all kinds of things to determine the answer to this question. So hopefully you can join us this coming Sunday. All right. So blessings, everyone.
We meeting up. We're gonna be there Saturday.
Oh yes, we'll be there Saturday too. And so we look forward to seeing everybody. Yep. All right. Blessings and Lila Tov, everyone. Shalom. Blessings.